It's one of the SK Modified's biggest races of the year, the 5th annual TC13 Shootout. And we're going to find out who among the SK Modified field will fight for $1,313 in the winning prize and this beautiful trophy. So the first half of the pit preview focuses on the SK Modifieds, and Kyle standing by with one of our contenders.
And Bonzo, we're going to start with our defending winner of the TC13 1 year ago, David Arute. And David, the 4th running of the event, your first win. How special was that night for you?
That was a huge night for us to get my first win in TC Shootout. The night itself is something special to all SK drivers, all drivers in general. They want to be part of that 13-car field at the end of the night and put on a show for the fans. And after getting that first win, it kind of has been one heck of a 365 days here, and I think I'm up to my 5th win, and since then, it was a turning point in my SK career pretty much, where from that point on we were just consistent. We had a great car, and to win again would be amazing, to be the first driver to go back-to-back, so hopefully we could do that.
And that was going to be my next question for you, is what's clicked? I mean, they say once you get the first one, the others come a little bit easier. That seems to be true for you. So what's clicked? Because you got your first 40-lap win just a week later.
Yeah, so easier is hard to say, right? But I'd say they come, I guess, a little easier, but they're still difficult to get at in this crazy of a field where anyone could win any night. I think the biggest thing was just seat time. I'm in my 5th year in the division now. I've been racing at a couple other tracks here and there in different cars, and adapting to the cars quick is what really helped me from the open races to running Waterford or Thompson, just adapting to what the car needs. That seemed to help me the most, and that's been what I've been able to do this year. Last week we might have let a win go away, but we'll see what we have tonight.
Best of luck to you here later this evening.
Thank you.
It's David Arute looking to become the first repeat winner in the TC13 here later this evening. Now let's hear from a driver looking for his first SK win with Bonzo.
Last week we saw the 31 of Noah Corner battling up front throughout the feature. You had to settle for second though after some turn 4 mishaps. So what's been going on the last 3 weeks? What has changed for you guys to be able to get these top 10 finishes after such a tough start?
I mean, it's a lame thing to say, but it's been luck. I mean, we've had a very unfortunate year with either a mechanical problem or a situation on the racetrack. I mean, every single thing that could have gone wrong this year has gone wrong. And the car's been good, and we've been able to keep our nose clean the last 3 weeks, and it's been really good.
So what more do you think you need to get to victory lane for the first time when you look at how your car handled last week?
You know, all the cautions that we had in the beginning of the race, I would have loved to have one at the end, but I mean, hard work pays off, and we stuck with it throughout the year, and I mean, it's starting to pay off. It's one more position, and you know, it's exciting.
We'll see if Noah Corner can pull it off today, win the 40-lapper and or the TC13 Shootout. We saw one driver get their first win last year. We talked to him earlier in David Arute. But now we're going to transition to another TC13 Shootout, standing by with Kyle.
And Bond's able to catch up now with a former winner of the TC13. Keith Rocco won it in 2019. And Keith, what does this race mean to you guys now going into its 5th year?
It's pretty awesome. You know, everybody wants to win it just to say they won it and win it for Ted, you know. Really cool race, really cool deal. Some extra money on the line, and it always ends up to be a battle for the win.
Let's talk about your season for a moment. Kind of a tale of 2 years and a tale of 2 cars. What about this race car is clicking with you? Because we're beginning to see you more and more toward the front here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's just, I mean, this style of car is what we ran for the last decade, and I know them like the back of my hand, and, you know, even when they're off, I can still make them work.
How difficult is tonight, if at all, as a driver running 40 laps and then having to turn around and jump in and run another 13?
I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, I think they give you a little bit of a break out there. It's more exciting to be able to make a couple adjustments and try to make your car better to win the last segment.
Well, best of luck to you here tonight.
Thank you.
Looking to become the first repeat winner of the TC13, that is Keith Rocco. Now let's head over to the SK Light Pits and hear from a driver that took a wild ride a week ago in their 20-lap feature.
Well, last week in the SK Light Modifieds, one of the highlights, or lowlights, was the ride that Jason Chapman took in turn 3. Ending up on top of the guardrail, what was that wreck like from your perspective?
You know, it's probably one of the worst wrecks I've had in my SK Light career. Actually, it was. I know for a fact it was. But it looked a lot worse on camera.
Where does it rank among, you've been racing in karts, you've been racing SK Light Modifieds, where does this rank among the wilder crashes you've been in? Because I know in karts there could be some crazy crashes.
Probably top two, I'd say. yeah.
So now when we talk about this car, you've had top 10 runs in this machine. How have you felt about the car? What more do you think you need to get back into the top 5 on a more consistent basis?
I think we got a fast car. We got a nice piece on our hands. I think it's all left is consistency, you know. Good finishes lead to wins, but you're not going to win the race sitting on top of the guardrail, so.
You're not wrong about that. How long did it take to get this car back together?
We finished scaling it late last night.
Wow. Well, better late than never, I guess. They get the car ready in time, and we know how fast the 44 has been all season. He's got a couple top 5s to his resume, and he's only a rookie. So the more experience, the better for Jason Chapman. Now we're going to go to Kyle Rickey in the limited late model pits.
And Bond's able to catch up with a driver in our limited late model division that has found his groove as of late. 4 consecutive top 5 finishes over the last 4 weeks in Gary Patnode. And Gary, a rough summer month, couple of wins, but a little inconsistency. But it looks like you found your groove here in the last month or so.
Well, yeah, we've had inconsistency in the beginning. The car's always fast. That's no secret. We've learned it's very hard to pass in the limited late model division. We also, I think we've had 9 different winners this year. So obviously a very competitive field, and you have to have luck on your side to come up to the front, you know, and we've experienced the worst setup in the car at times when we were off. We've experienced the best when we drove from 9th to 1st 4 or 5 weeks ago. So we're constantly chasing the car. We think we should have a good car tonight. We run basically last tonight, so we're really going to have to accommodate for that. But we think we have it figured out, and hoping for a good run tonight.
It's going to be my next question for you. As we've heard a couple of times now how temperature sensitive this track is. You're going to practice in 85-degree heat, and if it cools off like it did last week, it's going to be about a 20-degree difference come feature time. How much does the track change?
It's huge. It's huge. I mean, on a night like tonight where we're running last, it's going to be chilly and damp when we run. Basically, all the practices go out the window. We have to go back on notes and see what's happened in the past. And I've really been studying that this week. Rob's been paying attention to it. Rob and I spoke this morning before I left the shop, and we think we know what to do for tonight's feature. We should have a good run.
Best of luck to you here later tonight.
Thank you very much.
Gary Patnode, one of our 9 different winners this season in the limited late model division. Now let's hear from one of our winners in our street stock division with Bonza.
This season, the street stocks for Bobby Stark III has been a roller coaster, to say the least. You've had your ups and downs, but the last 3 weeks, 3 top 5 finishes, including a win. How you felt the car has been now and how the team has worked in this last month or so?
It's been good. It's nice not to have those those down nights past 3 weeks or so. But yeah, everything's been great. My crew's great. They work the tail off week in, week out. And even those crappy nights that we're sitting in the infield, you know, it's not a lack of effort on their part. Absolutely, you know, not. But yeah, car's been great. Changed a few things this week. The car doesn't really seem to like the cold weather, so hoping the sun stays out a little bit longer tonight, and being rolling off first, we'll hopefully keep some heat in the track, and we'll have a good piece for them tonight.
It is a sign of fall coming. It is cooling down a little bit tonight, but they do have the first feature, so maybe daytime will be the right time again for Bobby Stark III. It's time to go racing. Heats are coming up, so let's head on to the booth with Kyle Rickey.
All right, thank you very much, Bonza Tufa, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Stafford Motor Speedway. Beautiful Friday night of competition here at the Stafford Half Mile, and a busy night it will be. The first responders night and a fleet of first responders down on the Midway. We'll be honoring and recognizing those folks here later this evening. And it is the 5th annual TC13 as we honor the late, great Ted Christopher. Hard to believe it was 5 years ago yesterday. He took his 131st checkered flag here at this racetrack. It's going to be another great night of competition, full fields in every division. Bonza Tufa now joins me up in the booth. And Bon, a big night of competition. Points are on the line, and we're getting down to it here. A couple divisions very tight among the top 5 in the championship standings heading into the final 3 weeks.
Not only a couple divisions are very tight, a couple divisions switched point leaders last week. We saw the SK Light Modified switch point leaders with Tyler Berry now on top after winning. And then the limited late models, Rich Hammond had an incident on turn 2 and finished last. Jeremy Lavoie got the podium, allowing him to hold a 10-point lead in that division. So we still got 3 weeks to go. in the SK Modifieds, they still got 4 races to go. So not much to think about in terms of margin of error because there's not much to begin with. You still got to be perfect every single week.
Todd Owen has been near perfect, and that's why he's the championship point leader in the SK Modifieds by 100 points. Street stocks are on the racetrack, the first of a pair, a qualifying event set to get us underway here tonight. Starting on the pole in heat race number 1, car number 69. From the Roy's Auto Service entry from Belchertown, Massachusetts, it's Bill Cody.
Next up, driving car number 80 from East Hartford, Connecticut, Back Road Smokin' Barbecue gives us Tyler Trott.
Third starter, car 17 from Berlin, Connecticut, the Accelerated Electrical Services Chevrolet for Pat Grady.
Starting in 4th spot in car number 63 from East Berlin, Connecticut, Compressed Air USA gives us Sam Calvo.
Fifth starter, car 19, last week's winner from Plainville, Connecticut, the CSB Communications entry for Adrian Paradis.
Next up in 6th, our point leader in car number 11 from Woodbury, Connecticut, Hydar Construction gives us Travis Hydar.
7th starter, car 46 from Manchester, Connecticut, the Finkbines Landscaping entry for Jason Finkbine.
And returning to the street stocks in car number 31, sponsored by Guaranteed Rate of Agawam, it's Ryan Waterman.
9th starter, car number 18 from Naugatuck, Connecticut, the Tri-State Elevator and Hoist LLC entry for Cindy Sturk.
Starting 10th in car number 44 from right here in Stafford Springs, Stafford Veterinary Center gives us Rob Sears.
11th starter, car number 83 from West Suffield, Connecticut, the Marks Property Maintenance entry for Ryan Perry.
And rounding out the field, car number 6, the rental race car from Wallingford, Connecticut, William Dillon.
12 cars. 5 laps here in this opening qualifying event on the evening for the street stocks, the first of 2. As the pace car already on pit road, here comes the field off of turn 4, down to the green flag, and we are underway side by side. Cody and Trott to turn 1.
Top 7 in this heat race will qualify for the handicap. Bill Cody takes the lead off of turn 2. Adrian Paradis now gets underneath the 17 of Grady to take second. They're 2 by 2 for second and for 4th.
Yeah, the outside lane led by Pat Grady. Jason Finkbine in the 46. Here comes Calvo to the inside, working for position number 4. Just outside of the top 5, the current point leader, the 11 of Travis Hydar.
Up front, Paradis took a peek to the inside of Cody, keeps the nose in there. The 69 slides up to give the 19 some room. Paradis, who's had a top 5 every feature since missing one a couple months ago, takes the lead in this heat.
Looking to start a streak here tonight after picking up the race win last Friday night out front here in the heat race, and they are getting jammed up on the inside lane from second on back. Pat Grady had a moment on the inside lane. Finkbine took evasive action in the 46, and now they're stacked up side by side for position number 3.
Grady's rear tires were lifted up off the ground, but he was able to hang on and hold on to that 3rd spot. 2 by 2 behind him. Finkbine to the inside of Calvo. The 46 moves up to 4th. More contact. Grady gets turned into the infield grass. Finkbine goes around as well, back up the track, but everyone else avoids the 46. So 2 cars go around. The yellow flag has not come out yet. Now it has, as the 46 lays to rest on turn 1.
2 laps in a row. Those 2 cars made contact off of turn number 4. Jason Finkbine in the 46 spun, as did Grady in the 17. Cindy Sturk in the 18 did a nice job of avoiding the spinning cars here on the front stretch, along with the 44 of Rob Sears. We mentioned the 80 in the lineup a moment ago, Tyler Trott. He's had an eventful afternoon thus far, having issues in practice.
Differential failure is what the issue is with the 80 team. So their primary car not being able to work, they have to go and get their backup car, and they're all the way in East Hartford, Connecticut, so they got ways to go. They're going to miss the heat, but they're confident they'll be back in time for the feature. They won't be able to get in the handicap. They'll start in the back of the field as a result, but at this point, you just want to get that car back on track and racing because he's still doing pretty good up there in the points. He's not fighting for a championship, but he still wants to get that win. It's been 6 years since he last returned to victory lane. So Tyler Trott, his first full year back at Stafford in a while, had some good runs this season, but not the luck he's been looking for.
Going to have quite a night ahead of them to get that car here to the racetrack and starting at the tail end of the main event, if indeed they can make it back in time. So hopefully we'll see Tyler Trott here in the feature event coming up in a little bit as the pace car works into turn number 3. The 10 cars or 11 cars that remain out on the racetrack, doubling up Field in turn number 4, Adrian Paradis coming off of turn 4 as the leader. Green is out. We're back underway. Couple laps to run with Cody to the outside. Ryan Waterman started deep in this heat race and now challenges for the second spot in the 31.
It's been a while since we've seen that 31 car back on track, and not only is he back on track, he's back on track with a new car, and so far it looks pretty good. He moves up to second. Haidar goes underneath Cody for third. The white flag is out. Paradis is the leader, but he's got company on his back bumper.
And that is Waterman in car number 31. Here comes Haidar in the 11. He may run out of time in position number 3 to close in on the top 2. Adrian Paradis in the 19 shows the way up the back straightaway. Ryan Waterman in second as they head to the checkers.
Paradis got the win last week, his second of the season. His momentum continues tonight with a victory in the first three stock heat, holding off Ryan Waterman. Travis Haidar finishes third. Bill Cody ends up fourth. Not a bad run for Sam Calvo in the 5th spot. Jason Finkby and Cindy Sturck round out the top 7 that transfer into the handicap.
As the rest of the field crosses under the checkered flag here in heat race number 1. You mentioned Cindy Sturck in 7th, Rob Sears 8th, Pat Grady finished in the 9th spot after that spin, and William Dillon in the 6th will round out the order there among the top 10. Ryan Perry also did not finish in the 83, finishing the event on the pit lane. Heat race number 2 now, about to take to the racetrack. Another 12 cars set to take us to the green flag. Car number 94 will lead the field to green from Goshen, Connecticut. The New York Sports Show providing the sponsorship for Chris Danielchuk. Outside of the front row, car number 71 from Stamford, Connecticut. Rico's Pizza providing the sponsorship for Marvin Minkler, starting in second. Rolling off third, inside row 2, car number 21, a divisional veteran in Somers, Connecticut. He calls home the Tri-State Equipment and Repair Chevrolet for Jason Lafayette. And to the outside of row number 2, one of our title contenders, car number 51 from Ellington, the Jet Electric Chevrolet for Burt Willett. 5th starter, car number 9, another driver having a career year, car number 9 from Naugatuck, Connecticut, the A6A Associates and Tri-State Elevator and Hoist entry for Bobby Sturck. To the outside of row number 3, car number 42 from Barkhamsted, Connecticut, the P.J. Ladola and Sons Electrical Contractors entry for Travis Downey. 7th starter, car number 55 from Chicopee, Massachusetts, Anytime Nutrition to bring us Brandon Warren. And to the outside of that 4th row, car number 88 from Manchester, Connecticut, Metro Door and Ricky Breen Painting, the entry for Kyle Johnson. 9th starter, car number 36 from Columbia, Connecticut, the Maine Moose providing the sponsorship for David Mesha Jr. And to his outside, car number 91. From Prospect, Connecticut, the 91 is John Johnson. 11th starter, car number 16, scheduled to go off next from Granby, Massachusetts. It's Jeff Esselling, and to the outside of Jeff, it's car number 26 from Jewett City, Connecticut for Paul Borden Jr. in the 26 machine. 12 cars set to go here in this second and final 5-lap qualifying event, 7 to qualify into the feature through the handicap. Off turn 4 they come, green flag is out, and Chris Danielchuk leads the field to turn number 1, but it's the outside lane that gets the jump for a moment in Marvin Minkler. But Danielchuk battling back to the bottom as they go side by side up the back straightaway. Jason Lafayette to the inside of Willett for third. Travis Downey rounds out the top 5. Off of turn number 4, it looks like Lafayette looking to make it 3 wide, and car number 21 thought better of it as they go back to turn number 1. Danielchuk, Marvin Minkler, second time by side. Here's the 21 of Jason Lafayette, 3 wide this time into turn number 3. He has room on the bottom. Minkler makes a little bit of contact with Danielchuk. Both of those cars slide backwards a couple of spots as Lafayette goes to the inside. Burt Willett up to the second position. 3 wide racing continues. Travis Downey is up to third. Sturck is fourth. There's Warren in fifth, and the 2 guys that were battling for the lead just a couple of laps ago still in that outside lane and backsliding outside of the front 5.
These guys know it's a heat race, right? They are racing the daylights out of each other. New leader, though. Burt Willett gets underneath the 21 of Jason Lafayette to take the lead. Travis Downey has the 9 of Stirk all over his rear bumper, but the 9 backs off a little bit. Now they single out. We got 1 lap to go and they cross the line. Burt Willett leading and pulling away.
Down to the final half mile for Burt Willett, looking to turn his season around after a couple of rough weeks in that 51 car. Has a couple of car lengths lead over Jason Lafayette in second, Travis Downey in third. Good battle for fourth between Bobby Stirk and Brandon Warren in the number 9 and 55. They're all but side by side into turn 3 as the rest of the field comes off turn 4 for the checker.
Burt Willett will take the second heat for the street stock division, with Jason Lafayette finishing second, Travis Downey third, Bobby Stirk the third finishes fourth, Brandon Warren finishes fifth, Chris Daniel Chuck sixth, Kyle Johnson, the 88, gets the last spot in the handicap, Marvin Minkler 8th, David Mesha Jr. 9th, John Johnson finishes 10th, and the 16 of Aslan finishes in 11th to round out the field.
So a good field of street stock competitors here tonight. 2 very full qualifying events, so it'll be fun to see them all out there together. About 26 strong here later on this evening for the street stocks.
We want to remind anyone, especially the young folks in the grandstands and at the track, if you want a chance, behind the small grandstands in turn 4, the Willimantic Police Department have a SWAT vehicle, and they'll allow you to go to the back of that vehicle and you can check it out for yourself. I went in there, Kyle. I don't know if you got a chance to go in there as well, but it was really cool.
I did not, but I may go down there and check it out myself.
Yes. Well, time is
looks
limited.
amazing.
It is incredible. It's quite a vehicle to see in person.
There's always time.
Yes.
All right, here come the late models off of the access road in turn number 3 and on to the racetrack. The first of 2 qualifying events. 10 cars will take the green flag in this opening qualifier. Car 39 will lead them to green. From Berlin, Connecticut, Tavern on the Tracks, providing the sponsorship for our pole sitter, Paul Verrecchio Jr.
Starting in second in car number 61. From North Haven, Connecticut, Blake Company Incorporated gives us John Blake.
Third starter, car 10 from Fairfield, Connecticut, the Wayne's Auto Body and Springfield Thunderbirds entry for Wayne Corey Jr.
Starting fourth in car number 23 from Ellington, Connecticut, Levine Law gives us Kevin Gambacorta.
Current point leader goes from the 5th spot, car number 97 from Granby, Massachusetts, Meadows Motor Cars, to bring us Adam Gray.
Starting 6th in car number 28 from Brookfield, Massachusetts, Curtis Construction Services gives us Mark Curtis.
7 starter, car number 12, pulling double duty here this evening from East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, Safeco Foam providing the sponsorship for Alexandra Fern.
Starting in 8th in car number 9 from Wilbraham, Massachusetts, it's Tommy O'Sullivan.
9 starter, car number 17 from Milford, Connecticut, Wayne's Auto Body to bring us Wayne Corey Sr.
And rounding out the 10-car field in car number 2 from Monroe, Connecticut, Green Knolls Landscaping gives us Dwayne Knoll.
So both Wayne Corey Sr. and Jr. out there. We have not seen that much this season.
Yeah, Wayne Corey Sr. has a race this year so far. And that is a beautiful paint scheme. It's Corey Jr.'s paint scheme from last year with a 17 on, and kind of reminds me of Darrell Waltrip's old Budweiser paint scheme in a way.
Going back to the 80s there for Waltrip. As they come off of turn 4, green is out. Heat race 1 for late models underway. Verrecchio and Blake to make up the front row in turn 1.
Top 7 in this heat will qualify for the handicap as well. Verrecchio to the inside of Blake off of 2. It's the 39 that has the edge down the back straightaway, with Wayne Corey Jr. now taking a turn second, but Blake drives it in a ton on the outside line. Can he make it stick off of 4? Doesn't look like it. Verrecchio clears the field.
Yeah, he's going to lose that second spot potentially as well as Wayne Corey Jr. goes to the inside in the 10. Blake still in that outside lane. Gambacorta lined up on the bottom, as is Gray. In fact, the entire field goes to the bottom. Can now Blake squeeze in the line in third? It's going to get close in turn number 3. And it looks like Gambacorta's not going to give him an inch off of turn number 4 for that third position.
Nobody was giving an inch to anybody. Blake tried to shut the door, but Gambacorta forced that door open temporarily. The 61 does clear to 23 for a moment, but Gambacorta stays persistent to the inside of Blake for third. Up front, Corey took a brief peek at the leader, Verrecchio.
Battle for third is still side by side. Blake doing a nice job top side of the racetrack, but it's going to give up the third spot. And now fourth as Adam Gray goes to the bottom in car number 97. So Blake struggles continue in the outside lane at
Verrecchio continues the lead in turn number 3 by a car length over Wayne Corey Jr.
Blake falls from 3rd to 6th, and he may lose 6th to Alexander Fern. That outside line after a few laps just doesn't work for these late models, but the 61 finds a place in line, back in the 7th spot, the final spot to transfer into the handicap. Up front, Verrecchio and Corey, bumper to bumper.
Corey had a look to the inside, has had several looks to the inside, in fact, but unable to make a move as of yet. And he's about to have company for that 2nd spot. Gambacorta closes in from 3rd in car number 23. Adam Gray from 4th in the 97 as they go single file back to turn 1. O'Sullivan is there in 5th.
That car is a backup car to Adam Gray. If you remember last year, it looks very similar to Adam's paint scheme from 2021. Right now, looks pretty good. He's keeping touch with the 97, who is the point leader and the winningest driver in the late models this year. The top 5 are knotted together with 2 laps to go. Verrecchio still doing a good job holding off Corey.
Corey in the 2nd spot, wanting to make a move, but unable to as of yet. Again, put his nose to the inside off of turn 2. Verrecchio strong at the exit of the corner and carries that speed up the back straightaway. Off turn 4 they come. Verrecchio slides up, but Corey does as well. White flag, 1 lap to go for Paul Verrecchio Jr.
That's a guy who needs some good luck. He had a rough go in the 50 lapper last week. He's had a rough go in pretty much the last month. This might be the morale booster that team needs. Verrecchio leads in the turn 3. The 10 is still keeping the pressure, but Verrecchio staying cool, calm, and collected out in front.
Singled out off of turn number 4. Verrecchio slides up wide, and it's not enough for Corey to make a move. Checkered flag is out. Verrecchio will claim the win over Wayne Corey Jr. in 2nd. Kevin Gambacorta in 3rd, Adam Gray in the 4th spot, and rounding out the top 5, Tommy O'Sullivan.
Alex Fern finishes 6th. John Blake gets the last spot to transfer into the handicap in 7th. Wayne Corey Sr. and Dwayne Knoll will round out the 9-car field.
Coming into tonight, Adam Gray, the championship point leader by 26 over last week's winner in Tom Fern, picking up that first 50-lap checkered flag of all the wins that Tom has here at this racetrack. He had never won an extra distance late model event. That changed a week ago in the Paradiso Insurance 50.
He thought we were done talking about that once he got the checker flag last week, because we were persistent in telling people, hey, Tom has won a lot of races, but he's never won an extra distance event. Well, he finally got one. So he's the hottest driver in the late models, winning 3 of the last 4. We saw how good Tom Fern could be a couple years ago, winning 10, 12 races a year. If this is a sign of that year coming back in 2022, the late model field might be in trouble.
Good time of the season to get hot as well as we hit the final 3 weeks of the season. Heat 2 on the racetrack. Here is the starting lineup. Car number 43 will lead the field to green from Chicopee, Massachusetts. Our pole sitter is Andrew Durand.
Next up in car number 82, starting in 2nd spot from Northbridge, Massachusetts, Supreme Industries gives us Paul Arute.
3rd starter, car number 42 from Durham, Connecticut, the DMW Graphics and Greg's Lawn Care and Snow Removal entry for Michael Ray.
Starting 4th, a DNF last week, looking to build off of that and get some good luck going his way this time around. In car number 79 from Enfield, Connecticut, Big Kahuna Racing and Jarmark Farm gives us Daryl Keene.
5th starter, car 31 from Shelton, Connecticut, the Life Care Family Chiropractic entry, along with Alpine Tree Company, to bring us Andrew Moeller.
Starting in 6th, the hottest driver in the late models, as before mentioned, in car number 92 from East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, King Gray Coach Lines gives us Tom Fern.
Car 33 is next from Barkhamsted, Connecticut, the AVI Incorporated entry for Aiden Burrell.
In the 8th spot in car number 88 from Palmer, Massachusetts, Michael Ficini Law Firm gives us Dwayne Provost.
And rounding out the field, car number 19 from Willington, Connecticut, Aubuchon Hardware, the entry for Michael Bennett. Starting lineup for heat race number 2, lined up, ready to go. Back straight away for the late model stocks. Again, a good field, just shy of 20 here tonight as the pace car hits the infield. Andrew Durand to lead the field to the green flag with Paul Arute to his right elbow. Arute doesn't come up to speed. They stack up behind him just a bit in the outside lane as the inside lane advances to turn 2.
Arute looked like may have missed a shift on that start. Falls back to 3rd, might lose 3rd because Andrew Moeller's to the inside, the 82. Moeller coming off a top 5, a couple top 5s in a row in the last 2 late model races. He still has the edge over Arute for 3rd, and Daryl Keene is right there ready to fill that hole.
Here comes Keene to the inside with Arute to the outside lane. Back to turn number 1 in a battle for position number 4. Daryl Keene, a feature winner this season about a month or so ago in car number 79. Further back, Aiden Burrell falling off the pace just a bit in car number 33. But all the racing is from 4th on back and includes 3 cars.
Paul LaRue falls all the way back to the 6th position as Tom Fern gets underneath that 82. Stuck on the outside line, going backwards. That's the way it's been with the late models. Up front, car number 43 leads car number 42. It's Andrew Durand over Michael Ray.
Andrew Moeller goes 3rd in car number 31. Daryl Keene in 4th. Tom Fern 5th. Then a bit of a gap back to Paul LaRue, running unchallenged right now in position number 6 in car number 82 as we watch the battle from the lead all the way back to 5th off of turn number 2, led by Andrew Durand. Just a couple of car lengths back to Michael Ray in 2nd in car 42.
Durand was one of several late model drivers that did not finish the 50-lap lead last week. He needs a little bit of good luck, and this could be a good time to switch it on over. He did have a runner-up last year. He has potential, just trying to keep it together for a full feature, and he has about a 3-car length lead over Michael Ray.
He continues to ride in 2nd. Michael Bennett on the pit lane in car number 19, saving that car for the feature event here later tonight. As the top 5 swing off of turn number 4, just past the halfway mark of this 8-lap qualifying event. No change in the point, but the battle for 4th is getting close. Maybe a little bit of contact there in turn number 2. Tom Fern had a look to the inside of Keene in the 79.
He couldn't fit a piece of paper between the back bumper of the 79 and the front bumper of the 92. The 92 was basically underneath Keene without touching him. We got 2 laps to go. That is the closest battle on track right now. Daryl Keene, the 79, trying to fend off the 3-time winner this year.
And that is Tom Fern in the 92, and Paul LaRue trying to work his way back into that battle. Still a couple of car lengths back in position number 6. Coming to the white flag, Andrew Durand, the race leader, to the line. He's led all the laps thus far and has a comfortable advantage over Michael Ray in 2nd. Andrew Moeller in 3rd in car number 31. Then it's that battle for 4th between Keene and Fern.
Durand has slowly pulled away lap by lap, about a 10th over Michael Ray each time. It's a good showing for that 43. He's going to come off of turn 4 with a healthy advantage and take the late model heat race. Michael Ray will finish 2nd, Andrew Moeller 3rd, Daryl Keene 4th, Tom Fern 5th, Paul LaRue, Dwayne Provost, Mark Curtis, Aiden Burrell, and Michael Bennett will round out the entire finishing results.
So race number 2 for the late models in the books, and just like that we have 2 divisions qualified. The SK Light Modifieds are on deck, and again a very healthy field of cars even after some big incidents a week ago. We talked to Jason Chapman during our pit preview. He was one of the cars involved in the multi-car incident over in turn number 3. In fact, that car landed on top of the guardrail. He is back tonight, ready to go. In fact, most of the cars involved in that incident are back here this evening. Bonza, who is this we have down here on the walkway in front of the grandstands?
That is Smokey the Bear coming down the front straightaway stands. And say hello to Smokey the Bear. I was just told by one of the captains that he will be here, and I think he might be taking a ride in that SWAT vehicle later on during the parade lap. But yep, there he is, Smokey the Bear.
I grew up with Smokey the Bear.
You did?
I did.
Wow. You've been around a while, haven't you?
Thank you, Bonzo. All right, on that note, the SK Light Heat Race number 1 already on the racetrack. We'll jump into the lineup. The defending champion will lead the field to the green, car number 56 from Oakdale, Connecticut. Donna Mae Fisheries providing the sponsorship for Derek Devis.
Starting 2nd in car number 76. A real strong run last week until it didn't end well. From Ellington, Connecticut, Bulls Motors Incorporated gives us Ron Mitford Jr.
Last year's street stock champion who moved up into this division for this season will start 3rd, car 88 from Weathersfield, Connecticut, the O'Reilly Auto Parts JG Pool and Drywall entry for Frank Latwell Jr.
Starting 4th in car number 02 from Auburn, Massachusetts, Propane Plus gives us Megan Fuller.
The division's winningest driver will start 5th, car 29 from Stafford, Connecticut, Vernon Chevrolet to bring us Chris Matthews.
Starting 6th in car number 39 from Danbury, Connecticut, Blasco Roofing and Sheet Metal gives us George Bassett Jr.
7 starter, car 77 from Norfolk, Connecticut, the advanced auto repair entry for Chris Bagnell.
Starting in the 8th spot in car number 52, he is from Waterbury, Connecticut. Pettit Racing Engines gives us Anthony Farina.
Car 42 is up next from New Hartford, Connecticut, the Joining Technologies entry for Stephen Kalagenius.
And rounding out the lineup in car number 00 from Bristol, Connecticut, Blue Moon Design gives us Todd Clark. And we're missing a few, it seems like, at the start of this heat. But it's Derek Devis and Ron Mitford Jr. leading the field to the green flag. And it's Devis, the defending champion, in need of some good fortune, to say the least. after 3 straight DNFs, he checks out quick in a half a lap.
8 of the 10 scheduled starters on the racetrack, and it's Devis at the front of the field, Mitford in second, and they stack up from third on back with Frank Litwell Jr. to the inside, but will give up that third position to Megan Fuller in the 0-2.
And Litwell's got George Bassett Jr. to his outside. The bottom line not working too well for the 3-time three-stock champion. And Litwell, he might lose another spot to Chris Matthews in the 29. Bassett to the inside of Megan Fuller for the third position.
Here is the Mad Pup to the inside. George Bassett Jr. takes that third spot away. Fuller a little out of shape in the outside lane and will give up the 4th spot to Matthews, who goes to the inside in car number 29. But Fuller not giving up topside, hangs on to 4th for now by a car length.
Boy, Chris Matthews off of turn 4 last time by, barely cleared Litwell on the outside, and then crossed underneath Megan Fuller just in time to make that spot, battle for 3rd or for 4th really close. But Fuller has the run on the outside, and it looks like she'll get the run off of 2 and maintain that spot.
Halfway home this time by, Heat 1 for the SK Light Modifieds. Derek Devis has led all the laps thus far and has a comfortable advantage back to Mitford in second, and then it's that battle for 3rd, Bassett and Fuller. A couple laps ago, I gave the 4th spot to Matthews. Fuller strong in the outside lane in the 0-2, able to hang on to that position and in fact drive away by a couple of car lengths from Chris Matthews in the 29.
Matthews has the final spot to transfer into that ever so important handicap in position number 5. No pressure from behind though, because Frank Litwell Jr. in 6th is falling away from that battle between Mitford, Bassett, Fuller, and Matthews.
It's a good one from second on back. Levins Litwell further back in position number 6 right now as they crossed the line last time by. This time it's 2 to go for Derek Devis at the point, tiptoeing away at the front of the field. That car good when he's at the front, but boy, he has struggled this year in traffic and has not been the year that he was hoping coming off the championship from a year ago.
Sometimes that's the way racing goes. You look like a hero one year, and then the next year, just nothing seems to go your way. That's been the case with Devis. He's either finishing top 8 or having trouble. That's been the theme of 2022. But so far, so good tonight. Devis has a massive lead, about a 1.5 seconds on the rest of the field.
Off turn 4, checkered flag is out. Derek Devis will pick up the win. Ron Mitford will finish in the 2nd spot. Bassett in 3rd. Megan Fuller in 4th. Chris Matthews in 5th. Frank Litwell in 6th. And then we get down to Anthony Farino and Todd Clark rounding out the 8 cars in the opening qualifying event for the SK Lights.
Looks like Chris Bagnall and Steven Kalogiannis did not make the heat, so we'll see if they can make it for the feature. We got, what, 28 SK Light Modifieds today?
Like 27, 28, yeah, it's a good count.
That's incredible after what happened last week with 36 cars and only 14 of them finishing. But I think the situation is, even though there was a fair share of wrecks, not many cars were totaled or heavily damaged. They could get fixed in time for the next week, and that's what we're seeing right now.
And here they are, here tonight. Heat race number 2 rolling out onto the Speedway now. The 0 from Wallingford, Connecticut will lead the field to the green from the Newtown Pools entry for Charlie McDougall, our pole sitter.
Starting second in car number 87 from East Hartford, Connecticut, Metro Garage Door gives us Joey Farino.
Third starter, car 1 from Stafford, Connecticut, the Wickard Powered Sports entry for Bob Charland.
Starting 4th in car number 44, he was on top of the guardrail last week, looking to stay on all 4s this week. From Ellington, Connecticut, Chapman Apartment Homes gives us Jason Chapman.
And his brother will start next row back, car 41 from Ellington, Connecticut, the Chapman Apartment Homes entry, a driver in the mix for this year's championship. It's Tyler Chapman.
Starting in 6th spot in car number 10, he's been on a bit of a roll in the last 3 features. From Seymour, Connecticut, Anglace Racing Enterprises gives us Nick Anglace.
7th starter, car number 48 from West Springfield, Massachusetts, the Mayberry Material Handling entry for Alina Bryden.
Next up in the lineup, starting in the 8th spot in car number 33 from Windham, Connecticut, JFK Roofing LLC Advanced Sewer and Drain gives us Haley DeZonia.
And rounding out the 9-car field from West Springfield, Massachusetts, the Concrete Guy, providing the sponsorship for Brady Parolo in the 06. So that's the starting lineup here for heat race number 2 for the SK Lights. Charlie McDougall, Joey Farino to make up the front row. Pace car on pit road. Another 8 laps the distance. The top 5 qualifying into the handicap. Green is out. McDougal with the jump, but with the boot from Charland, and Farino will lead the field to turn 1.
I think McDougal missed a shift there and falls all the way to the back of the pack. Momentarily, they were 4 wide, but everyone came out of turn 2 just fine. Farino has the lead, came up a little bit on Chapman. I don't know if Jason was quite clear of the 87 or not, but that 44 is not giving up on the outside of the 87.
It's good in the outside lane for Chapman, trying to pull up alongside Farino in the 87, and does just that in turn 1, albeit briefly. Farino takes the advantage back off of turn number 2, and here comes Charland looking to make it 3 wide, but thought better of it as the top 4 can fit under a blanket as they come off of turn 4.
And Glaze gave a shot to Jason Chapman on the back straightaway, allowing the 44 to stay alongside Farino. He might have a shot to clear the mayor off of turn 2, 2 by 2 in the first 2 rows.
Joey Farino, a feature winner this season. Jason Chapman looking for his first after that wild run a week ago in car number 44. Has the momentum, top side, and a bit of a push from Anglace in the 10 to take the top spot.
Boy, that 10 is coming off the corner for good. He loves to roll the top. He's going to try to top off of turn 2 and make a challenge for the lead on Jason Chapman. But Anglace from 6th to 2nd. But Bob Charland looks to the inside of the 10 for that runner-up spot.
Anglace slides up the racetrack. Here's Charland to the inside for 2nd. Farino and Tyler Chapman rounding out the top 5. Battle for the lead. What a run for the 1 to the inside. Bob Charland into turn number 1 was able to pull up alongside Jason Chapman, and now they are nerf bar to nerf bar.
Charland has the edge off of turn number 4. Can he clear the 44? Almost. He'll shut the door into turn 1. Bob Charland to the front. Now can Nick Anglace try to get underneath that 44? That 10 was battling for the lead for a moment. Now he's back to 3rd, and he's got Tyler Chapman on his tail.
Into turn number 4 they go. They'll single out at the front 4 now. Farino looking to the inside of Tyler Chapman for 4th. 2 laps to go. Charland at the point. Chapman in 2nd. Anglace in 3rd. And nearly got into the 44 in turn number 1. Close moment there in a race for the 2nd spot between Chapman and Anglace. Tyler Chapman is in 4th, coming to the white flag.
Anglace is in the middle of a Chapman sandwich right now, but the main thing, he's in the handicap, but he's not ready to settle yet. Anglace to the inside of Jason Chapman for 2nd, gave him a little nerf in turn 1, and takes the position away, but he might run out of time with Bob Charland pulling away.
For the final set of corners, Bob Charland at the front of the field, watching this battle for 2nd. Jason Chapman back to the inside of Nick Anglace, 5 car lengths behind the race winner. Bob Charland, and some antics there from 2nd on back as Jason Chapman taken all the way to the grass, coming to the checkered flag.
Yeah, I don't think Anglace gave much into that 44 down the front.
Not a lot of room at all, and but thankfully there's no damage.
At least the 44 kept it straight. A good run for him. Bob Charland taking home the heat. Anglace did edge out Jason Chapman for the 2nd spot, so Jason ends up 3rd. Tyler Chapman ends up 4th. Joey Farino finishes 5th. He's the last car to transfer in the handicap. Haley DeZonia 6th. Alina Bryden 7th. Charlie McDougal and Brady Parolo round out the 9-car field. Well, that was interesting to say the least.
It was. And again, fortunately, there was no damage. Both cars kept rolling and will be okay for the main event coming up here later this evening for the SK Lights. Their feature 20 laps in distance here tonight, and rolling out onto the racetrack now, heat race number 3 for the SK Lights. Car 09 will lead the fields to the green flag from Westbrook, Connecticut, driven to Cure, providing the sponsorship for our pole sitter, Cassandra Cole.
We looked at a replay briefly at the checkered flag and the contact between the 10 and the 44, but starting in 2nd spot from Windsor Locks, Connecticut, Ferrari Lawn and Landscaping gives us Casey Vogt.
3rd starter, car number 89 from Berlin, Connecticut, the Alkis Motorsports entry for Tyler Alkis.
Starting 4th in car number 15 from Colchester, Connecticut, McKinney Construction of Stafford and Sign Pro gives us Amanda West.
Championship point leader rolls off from 5th, car number 18 from Griswold, Connecticut, the Pro Systems Integration entry for Tyler Berry.
Starting 6th, the man 3rd in points coming in car number 7 from Salem, Connecticut, Darling Auto Parts gives us Alex Pearl.
Car 74 goes next in line, starting in the 7th position from Grainville, Massachusetts, the SK Property Maintenance entry for Brandon Michael.
In the 8th spot, car number 45 from New Hartford, Connecticut, Lakeshore Benefit Group gives us Ed Chikoski.
And rounding out the 9-car field, car number 5 from Summers, Connecticut, the Marquise Landscaping and Akari Motor Sales entry for Paul Akari. Mentioned the championship standings. They are tight.
Oh, yes.
Tyler Berry has a 2-point lead over Tyler Chapman. Alex Pearl is third, just 4 points out of the lead.
And I wouldn't even count out Chris Matthews in fourth,
who is only 20 points back in the fourth spot. Amanda West still in fifth, but lost a bit of ground after that incident in turn 3 a week ago. She is now 60 back instead of, I believe she was 20 back a week ago going into last week's feature. Field is off turn 4, coming to the green flag. Third heat for the SK Lights is underway. Cassandra Cole to lead the field to turn number 1.
Cole got a pretty good jump. She's got 2 Safeco teammates behind her in Tyler Alkus and Tyler Berry on that inside line. From second on back, 2 by 2, Alkus trying to take the second position away from Casey Vogt.
Casey Vogt in the outside lane, Alkus to the bottom, then it's Berry and West side by side, inside and out for position number 4. Alex Pearl holding his breath just outside of the top 5 in that 7 car, running in the 6th spot.
Casey Vogt's car pushed up off of turn 4 and got real wide and had to back out of it. Loses second to Tyler Alkus, in danger of losing third to Tyler Berry, and he's got the 7 of Alex Pearl pushing him on the straightaway.
Alex Pearl, third car in that outside lane. Vogt just in front of him. Vogt trying to move around Berry in a battle for third as the top 2 try to break away. Cassandra Cole very happy with the handling of her race car after practice earlier this afternoon, as was Alkus in second and Berry in third, all out of the same shop, and it's showing right now 1, 2, 3 at the front.
And Pearl made quick work of Casey Vogt to move up to fourth. That 75 car has the final transfer spot, and he's got pressure from Amanda West in sixth. But back up to second place, Tyler Berry looking to the inside and sending it deep in the 3. Underneath Alkus, he will move up to the second position.
And Cassandra Cole left the door open off of turn number 4. And here comes Berry to the inside, took the second spot away, and now a half a lap later, looks at taking the race lead away from Cassandra. They are side by side. Here comes Pearl to the outside in that 4th spot, trying to move around Alkus and Will.
Side by side for the lead.
Trouble
side
further back.
Ooh.
Bit of contact with Akari
and Shikoski
and
in the
Ed
45.
Shikoski.
That'll bring out the caution. It looked like Akari in the 5 climbed up the Nerf bar of Shikoski for a brief moment. Akari continues on. Looks like Shikoski will be able to continue on. But there's our first yellow of the night.
So caution is out. We'll slow the field here off of turn number 4. Ed Shikoski back on the pit lane in car number 45. Akari stays on the racetrack in car number 5. And we go under the caution. Hope you've been able to take in the sights on the Midway. A lot of our first responders there, chatting with the fans here in the grandstands and able to take a look at some very impressive vehicles that we're very grateful that they're there,
yep.
But we don't ever want to see them.
It's not a good sign, to say the least, but it's cool for these kids to see, in a way, what they get to do. And I mean, you got to admit, that SWAT vehicle is pretty cool to see up close. I mean, that thing is massive. As we take a look at the replay, this will be towards the back of the field. Shikoski in the 45 just loses it.
Lost it, and Akari had nowhere to go and made contact to put us under the caution flag for the first time today. We also want to mention the Forever in My Heart Foundation on the Midway here this evening. And part of their display includes some service dogs. Forever in My Heart strives to save 2 lives at a time by identifying trainable shelter animals, rescuing them, training them as service dogs, and helping them find their forever homes with eligible disabled U.S. veterans in need of a helping paw. Make sure you visit them on the Midway throughout the night. The Forever in My Heart Foundation.
Cassandra Cole up front with Tyler Berry as they hit the restart line. And Tyler Berry gets the jump into turn 1, with Tyler Alkus following suit on the outside lane. And Alex Pearl watching that battle for second spot. Amanda West has the final transfer position in 5th.
Runs in 5th. Here comes Pearl to the outside of Cole for 3rd. As Berry and Alkus single out 1-2. Now Cassandra Cole trying to battle back to the bottom, but the outside lane is where it's at right now. Here's Pearl to 3rd in the 7 car. One of the championship contenders, running 3rd in points right now, 3rd on the racetrack, and battling with Tyler Alkus for 2nd in the 89. Amanda West to the outside of Cassandra Cole for 4th.
Tyler Alkus' car was a little tight, and then he gets loose off the corner as a result. He got a little bit wide in the center of the corner, and it seems like Pearl can really go to the real smooth, and you can see it right there. He takes second spot away from Alkes. Amanda West moves up to fourth. Alkes is not done yet. He goes to the inside, hits Pearl. Pearl slides up to the guardrail, but I believe he came to a stop just shy of hitting it. The checker flag is out in this heat race. Tyler Berry will win it, but the main story, Pearl getting turned on that final corner.
By Alkes in the 89. What a last lap there, and hopefully there's no damage to the Pearl car. Of course, we're just talking about Alex, 4 points out of the championship lead. As he makes it to the pit lane, trying to take a look at the right rear, and doesn't look like there's much damage, if any.
No, he might be okay. But we look down the lineup. In the finishing results, Tyler Berry takes the heat win. Tyler Alkes ends up second. Amanda West finishes third. Casey Vogt ends up in the handicap in fourth. Brandon Michael finishes fifth. He has the last transfer spot. Paul Akari sixth. Cassandra Cole seventh after getting held up by the spinning Pearl. Finishing eighth is Pearl. And then Ed Chikoski didn't finish after his incident turned 4. He's last out of the 9-car field.
We're going to look at a replay of it up on the big screen. Alkes to the inside of Pearl, coming together on the final corner of the final lap of the heat race. Everybody able to avoid, but a couple of close moments there for drivers like Amanda West and Cassandra Cole. Brandon Michael also taking evasive action as the SK Modifieds hit the racetrack. And at this time, we want to thank everybody that is tuned in to our live streams on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to watch the rest of tonight's action, including SK Modified heat races and all of our feature events, head on over to flowracing.com.
As you mentioned, the SK Modifieds are up with our first heat race of the night. Let's give you the starting lineup.